ever heard. Messiah has come. It says in his word to cleanse everyone. Atonement he made, iniquity borne, that we can find life in him evermore. The sacrifice lamb has been slain, his blood on the altar a stain to wipe away guilt and pain, to bring hope eternal. Salvation has come to the world, God's only Son to the world, Jesus the one for the world, YaHuWaH is he. The prophets of old speak much of Messiah. His death is foretold, the purpose is clear. Isaiah to say 'twas for an atonement to give us a way that leads not to death. The sacrifice lamb has been slain, his blood on the altar a stain to wipe away guilt and pain, to bring hope eternal. Salvation has come to the world, God's only Son to the world, Jesus the one for the world. Oh, YaHuWaH is he. So brothers of mine, look not to yourselves, for we are but one. We all need his help. We've broken the law, but he paid our debt, that we can find life, oh, by YaHuWaH's death. The sacrifice lamb has been slain, his blood on the altar a stain to wipe away guilt and pain, to bring hope eternal.
back and we expect now that you can hear us. So we're going to check in the chat again. Let us know if you can hear our beautiful voices. Unfortunately, we missed the powerful introduction that I was practicing the whole week. So now, can you hear us then?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, perfect. So I don't remember what I said, but welcome to our Shabbat gathering. And I was mentioning to JC that JC has a lot of work to do every time that we are coming back because it's a complete different setting. So that kind of stuff can happen. So we inverted some order. We listened already to the song, and now we are going to pray to our beloved Abba so we can have a good portion today. And the portion we have titled, Israel has forgotten his maker. And we have to take heed about this specific phrase because we don't want to be found among those who has forgotten his maker. So we are going to start now with the prayer. Do you want to do it? Should I do
No, I
it?
think you should do it today.
Today I'm going to be practicing.
Lillian will take the lead today. I'm not feeling that well. And, a lot of, I'm trying to somehow enjoy my Shabbat, taking some rest. So,
Yeah.
so Lillian will do it.
Okay. So
And Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for your patience and, for this exceptional timing. But we have no option. We have to do it, but we have the desire in the heart to not to skip a week and to come here and to have that at least this short gathering once again.
okay. So we are going to bow our heads and we are going to pray to Abba. Beloved Abba, YaHuWaH, our Creator, you that are our Elohim, we want to give you thanks for everything that you are doing in our lives, for everything that you have done in the past, and that we know that you're going to do in the future. In every trial that we have to endure, every trial that we have to go through, because we know that everything that we are living through is according to your will somehow, that you are refining us, that you are working on us. Even though when we don't understand, when we are suffering, maybe ourselves or the people around us, our family, when they have been dealing with difficulties that they cannot understand too, please help us to see what you're trying to do in our life. Help us to see what we have to change in our life. Help us to understand what you are trying to tell us. We want to give you thanks for this Shabbat. We want to give you thanks for this special moment, because we know that if we are having life in this moment, it's because of you. Because if we are feeling any kind of pain, any kind of tribulation, it's because you are doing something. Father, and we are not only giving you thanks for this current life, because even though we are having this experience, we know that what you're preparing is something much bigger, is something that we have to embrace. That in this life you warn us, we are going to have trials, we are going to have tribulations, we are going to experience diseases, we are going to face death. But even though that we have to face all of that, you show us a way that there is a better end, that there is life next to you. There is life coming from you. Father, we want to give you thanks for everything that you are doing, for putting a place where we can live, for giving us all the things that we need every day, for giving us from your mercy, from your love. We want to take this opportunity to ask you for all those who are suffering in their bodies, who are feeling some pain, who are having something that is not working properly. We want to ask you, Father, that you can help us to find a way, and ask only you that you can bring that restoration, that you can bring the healing that we need, that we can always ask you to understand what is working maybe in not the correct way in our bodies, that we can correct that we can see beyond. Father, we want to ask you in this opportunity for Timothy, that you can help him in anything in his body that maybe is causing a blockage in his system, in the way that the circulatory system needs to work. In everybody who is having some issues with that you can extend your hand and help them. With people when they're having some issues with their heart, with their lungs, when they have problems, eating disorders maybe, fathers, when they are suffering, because now in this day, we know that even everything that we are having, even the food sometimes is causing us pain and trouble. Father, we want to ask you for those who are being in prison. We want to ask you also for our sister Judy, that you can help her, that you can give her the strength that she needs, that if it's your will, that you can grant her the deliverance that she's expecting. And also we ask you for the deliverance that we need, the deliverance from this current world, that you can show us the way and help us and strengthen our hands and our knees so we can continue in this walk that is toward you. We ask you for all of those who are suffering from a sadness at this moment in their hearts, that you can bring them shalom, that you can provide the shalom that we need. Father, we ask all of this and we give you thanks for your incredible mercy and love that is infinite, that you show us when you gave your only and begotten Son, YaHuWaH, who was willing to die for us so we can go back to you. We give you thanks in his Kodesh name. He is carrying your name. And we expect someday we are going to be worthy to be standing before him and you. In his name, in YaHuWah's name, we elevate this prayer to you, to your altar, to your throne. Amen.
Amen.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so let me put the scripture here. Let me close this one.
Okay, and today we are going to read to chapter 7 and 8. So it's going to be a long reading, but be patient.
Okay, so let me put the screen here. Okay. So let me start. Just making sure that you can see the screen. Okay. So it says the following. Whenever I would heal Yisra'el, then the crookedness of Ephraim is uncovered, and the evil deeds of Shomeron. For they have brought falsehood, and a thief comes in, a band of robbers raids outside. And they do not say to their hearts that I remember all their evil. Now their own deeds have surrounded them. They have been before me. With their evil they make a sovereign glad, and rulers with their lies. All of them are adulterers, as an oven heated by a baker, who ceases stirring the fire after kneading the dough, until it is leavened. In the day of our sovereign, rulers became sick, inflamed with wine. He extended his hand with scoffers, for they have drawn near, their heart is like an oven. While they lie in wait all the night, their baker sleeps. In the morning it burns like a flaming fire. All of them are as hot as an oven, and they consume the rulers. All their sovereigns have fallen. Not one among them calls on me. Ephraim mixes himself among the peoples. Ephraim has become a cake unturned. Strangers have devoured his strength, but he does not know it. Gray hairs are also sprinkled on him, and he does not know it. And the excellency of Yisra'el did witness to his face, but they did not return to YaHuWaH their Elohim, nor did they seek him for all this. And Ephraim has become a simple dove without heart. They have called on Mizraim, they have gone to Ashur. When they go, I spread my net over them. I bring them down like the birds of the heavens. I chastise them as their congregation has heard. Woe to them, for they have strayed from me. Destruction to them, because they have transgressed against me. And I myself have ransomed them. Yet they have spoken falsehood against me. I did not cry out to me with their heart when they wailed upon their beds. For grain and new wine they assembled themselves. They turn away from me. And I strengthened their arms, but they plot evil against me. They return, but not above. They have been like a slack bow. The rulers fall by the sword, for the cursings of their tongue. This is their scorn in the land of Israel.
Wow.
So there are many things here, right?
Yeah.
Things that I don't understand. And
We were trying to understand, especially about for me, it is still a mystery when he is talking about and making all this comparison with the oven. And I wish I could see it plainly. So, but I don't know. I'm trying, and I know that there's something that is hidden and is showing that I would like to understand that. But when it's starting this chapter, it says, "Whenever I would heal Israel, then the crookedness of Ephraim is uncovered." So at one point is also making understand that Israel somehow has been suffering all this time.
yeah,
And he's trying to do that healing, the healing that Israel needs. But when he's doing that process, then something in all the crookedness of Ephraim, the one that are dispersed, that are lost somehow, is like becoming very notorious somehow. So
it's a kind of vicious loop.
Yeah.
You know, when we read the verse 1, it's a kind of a vicious loop because he's trying to heal Israel. But every time that he's going deeper, he's finding
it's like
evil.
Yeah.
And somehow the vicious loop is connected to the deeds, you know, and we have been talking this in the last few weeks, is how the actions that the things we do somehow are connected to our own spirit, or what is in our spirit is connected to the actions we take. So if our heart is evil, we will have evil actions. If our actions are evil, we will have an evil heart. So in all the process, YaHuWaH is trying to heal. But if we continue in the vicious loop, there's no healing. So he's providing in the verse 1, basically everything that's happening. That is happening falsehood is what we say. And what's really in our heart, you know, thieves comes in, band of robbers raids outside. That could be also a spiritual thing, you know. We know that the thief Yahushua was talking is the thief is Satan, you know, evil spirits that are trying to take our the peace or taking our the truth. And actually, we remember this the parable of the sower is one the word is being implanted in the heart, and the soil is not good. Thieves comes, birds comes, and take the seed out. So this is exactly what's happening with Israel, and it's happening. It's a spiritual battle. It did happen in the past, and it's happening nowadays even more. Thieves, robbers are all around us. But if we engage in that vicious loop, we are opening the door for them to do what they do the best.
Somehow it's saying also that is not repentance heart, because it says in the two, and they do not say to their heart that I remember all their evil. Is that they are not going to recognize, they are not going to see, they are not going to look into their heart. So it's like when you are continue doing evil, and you think that you are doing it okay, and you cannot see, you cannot feel.
It's a kind of recognition that they have forgotten YaHuWaH, that He is the Almighty, the El Elyon, that He is everywhere, that He knows everything. I think it was last week that we were talking and remembering about the parable of the prodigal son. It's been in our, I think in a few weeks we have been talking about that. And the situation of that son, in the way that Yahushua told that parable, is like that he was completely out of his mind. He was not conscious and not aware of what he was doing. And this is exactly what is describing here. Is that's why what's being described in this book compared to that parable are so related to each other, going so much one by one in parallel. Because what is being described about Ephraim is like is the same that happened to that son in the parable. Is that he lost track of his own life, that he was unable to see, he was unable to be in the present moment, he was unable to understand and to remember his father. And he was not conscious about what he was doing. So not being present and not being conscious, somehow forgetting the father, not realizing what are the actions that they are doing, not realizing about what is in their hearts. It's just living in autopilot. So everything we do, actually says in the verse 2, is that is surrounding us. In this case, all their deeds were surrounding them. And YaHuWaH knows everything. Even though that they don't remember it, even though that they don't realize, YaHuWaH knows everything.
Yeah. And it even said that with their evil they make a sovereign glad, and rulers with their lies. So at the end, it's like, okay, their behavior is making some other people maybe happy, but they are not taking heed, or they are not worrying enough about making our Father happy. So it's better for them just to be okay with the rest, even though with that means that they are not going through the Torah of YaHuWaH. They are not fulfilling maybe what YaHuWaH is expecting from each of us. So that is important. Yeah, maybe sometimes we think that a king is somebody in that place. Maybe a king's the top of the kingdom, but maybe a king could be a friend. Maybe a king could be somebody that we put in an important position, but it's not YaHuWaH.
Yeah, let's continue. So the rest is just a description of what was the attitude of Ephraim. All of them are adulterers. And I don't understand that well this analogy, this parable about the oven being heated with the baker. But, later on in the verse 7, in the verse 6, it's talking that the heart is like an oven. So they are like the oven. Their heart is like the oven that is going to, in the morning, because it's unattended, it will become flames of fire. It says in the verse 6. Let me put it in the screen. So it says at the end of the verse 6, in the morning it burns like a flaming fire. So, it's, again, is what Yahushua said, that from the heart comes good and evil things. So if we are filling our hearts with evil things and we keep it unattended, like, this analogy of the baker that is heating the oven, but then is moving on to do something else, and the oven stay there, being heated up, unattended, it can produce, flames. It can produce a fire. So if our heart is evil and we don't take attention and we keep it unattended and not to take responsibility on the things that are going on, later on, it will produce flames of fire. That's why in the verse 7 it's saying, all of them are as hot as an oven, and they consume the rulers. All their sovereigns have fallen. No one among them calls on me. So that's exactly what happened with Yisra'el in the past. That, they totally forgot YaHuWaH. They separated from the entire Israel, and they followed their own ways. They decided to continue living according to what was right in their own eyes. They wanted to pursue their own interests. And it's not that it's bad that they wanted to pursue their own interests. The point is that what was bad is that they decided to forget YaHuWaH and to forget his ways and to do everything without YaHuWaH. And that is basically feeding the heart with evil things and keep it unattended. That will produce at the end the vicious loop that they are going to do evil deeds, and that's going to feed them with evil in their hearts, and they are going to be unable to get out of that vicious loop. And the heart, it will continue heating up as an oven until it will produce a flame of fire that will produce, in the person, in the case in the people, but also in everything that is surrounding them. That's why it's saying that they consume the rulers in the verse 7. All of them are as hot as an oven, and they consume the rulers. If our heart is evil, what's going to happen with the people around us?
It's going to consume them.
They're going to be consumed.
Yeah.
And
like when something is being burned.
Yeah. And evil in the heart can be translated to many things. Evil, we can think on the evil spirits that are the spirit of the Nephilim. What the Nephilim does, what their intention is to destroy. Is to destroy, is to devour. Is to do everything to destroy man, is to do everything that's going against YaHuWaH. So if our hearts somehow are being fed with that type of things, we are entering in that vicious loop that at the end, if it is kept unattended, it will even destroy not the person, it will destroy everything that is around that person. And that's why, the only way out is YaHuWaH. The only way out is to cry out to YaHuWaH. But the point is that we are living in this autopilot mode, and we are not able to understand that the only solution is in YaHuWaH. We will continue in this loop of destruction, because this is exactly what happened with Israel. And that's why, the message is for this generation as well, because it's exactly what we see happening in our days. Yesterday I went to a place to cut my hair, and maybe that's why I lost my strength.
Maybe.
Yeah. Not that I am Samson, but
Yeah.
but maybe.
Yeah.
And this person that was cutting my hair, I don't know why we got to this conversation. And I remember, because they had a screen and there was a football game, soccer game on the screen, and I told him, it's incredible how the video games today are so, how technology has advanced, that video games are so realistic that it's so difficult to differentiate or to distinguish the real game with the video game.
Yeah, in the past you can see the
Yes.
difference, but now.
And he told me, he answered, and he said, yes, that's true, but this is also causing so many issues. And every time that I'm coming in the subway, he was telling me, and I related to what he was telling me, because it happened to me in the past when I used the subway more than today, nowadays. I always was taking a look in the same thing that he told me, is that in the subway, all the people are in with their phones, and this human connection is lost, disappearing. And to the point that we are analyzing what the Ruach speaking, because I can tell you it's not me, and you can tell the same. Just allowing the words coming out. It's exactly what's happening today. This vicious loop. That if we are not in the present moment, evil has increased everywhere. Evil is surrounding us even more. It's like, all the evil spirits that were put in prison. If you have read the book of YaHuWaH, it says that, only 10% of the evil spirit were kept free in order for Mastema that is Satan, to do what he's supposed to do, the purpose of his existence. The 90%, it is written in the book of YaHuWaH, of the evil spirit were trapped in prison back then. So today it look like, that 90%,
It's out.
was let loose, and it's totally out. So if in the time of Israel that we are reading, the time of the 10 tribes, everything that happened that we have studied in the book of Kings has been a repetitive topic, throughout the books of the prophets, especially, in this book of Hoshea, happened with the 10% of the evil spirits. Just imagine what's going on today with the 100%, most probably of them already loose. So if we don't pay attention on these words, if we don't pay attention on what happened to Israel in the past, how we are going to be able to survive the situation that's happening today, and not to fall into the same mistakes, not to fall into those vicious loops that somehow are leading us astray and leading us to forget YaHuWaH. The key of all of this, what I feel in my heart, the key of all of that is in the parable of the prodigal son. Is to wake up, to realize, to be aware, to be conscious to be present, not to be in autopilot. Is to do things by knowing of what you are doing, deciding things by knowing, being present, conscious of what you are doing. You know, YaHuWaH has put an inner being in each one of us. And it's so beautiful in the way that he has created us at his own image and likeness. And that inner man or inner woman, even though that the scripture is talking about inner man, but it's applicable to you, my sisters, as well, is the precious thing that YaHuWaH has deposited in each one of us. And it's not his Ruach. That's even the most precious thing because it's himself. But in the way that he has created us, he has deposited something so special. Is the spark that is coming directly from him. That's the inner man. The one that is always observing. The one that is conscious in the present moment. If we don't allow that inner man to be in control, to be in the co-pilot seat, because we are never in the pilot seat. If we are in the pilot seat, we are not doing things well. YaHuWaH needs to be in the pilot seat. We need to be in the co-pilot seat with this inner man. And if we allow this inner man to be in control, to be conscious, doesn't matter what's going on around us. It doesn't matter what the 100% of the evil spirits that are being loose in these times are trying to do. They're trying to deceive you and convince you of doing things. If you are present with that spark of YaHuWaH that is your inner man, that inner man is so kodesh, that is belonging to YaHuWaH, that we have nothing to fear. And that's going to be the only way, the key that I feel in my heart to get out of any vicious loop that is happening in this generation. And if we do so, we are going to become witnesses to the people around us that needs that light and that, maybe that push from somebody else to awaken them. Maybe they are going to resist. Maybe they are not going to take the words or the actions you will do. But something will happen. You are depositing a seed, the seed of the word of YaHuWaH in their hearts by trying to do something for them to bring light. Maybe you won't see results. Maybe somebody else will see the results. But the first thing we need to do is to understand how to conduct our lives in this way in order to not to get trapped in the deception of the evil spirits.
Well, it's comparing Ephraim like become a cake and turn. And then when I imagine that, continue with all this analogy and it's the cooking process and everything, is when you have, and I imagine even in the past, maybe we can see it more clear that in the present time, because now with the ovens and how they're working today, they're hidden stuff that you're putting there on the top and also on the bottom, so it doesn't make much sense. But if you go to the past, when you were when it's on turn, it means that always is going to receive maybe a lot of heat at one part. So that part is going to be completely burned. Mm-hmm. And the other maybe is not going to be ready yet. So somehow it's a combination of things. And then I was remembering that when YaHuWaH was telling us, I prefer that people, if at the end is going to be a sinner, he's going to be a completely sinner and he's going to be thrown away and completely, but he doesn't like when something is mixed. It has one foot here and one foot there. So because that he cannot understand. He doesn't want the I don't know how to say it in English, but it's like an awkward combination from two different, completely different point of views. So I think that is saying, and what you mentioned in the verse 10, it says, and the excellency of Israel did witness to his face. What you were mentioning about how an action, how someone's behavior can do that part of the work, can do maybe put that seed, could make them understand, could make them to see something different. And it was the same with them. They did not return to YaHuWaH their Elohim, nor did they seek him for all this. So at the end, it was like you said, some people maybe are not going to listen, maybe they're not going to react. It doesn't depend on us. Is YaHuWaH the one who is opening eyes, who is the one allow them to hear when they need to hear? But it's our duty to provide good deeds. It's our duty to provide lives that are worthy of being called children of YaHuWaH, to being called children of the mighty Elohim. So that is something important.
So this is an interesting clue about where Ephraim is. Where are the 10 tribes? And throughout the years we have seen excellent studies and teachings about this. I remembered this teaching from Jim Staley. Sorry, my mind today sometimes is being disconnected. Identity crisis, when he's unlocking all this understanding about who Ephraim is, what are the 10 tribes. I remember Rob Skiba talking about the Ephraim awakening, and referring to this book as well. What is Ephraim? Is the fulfillment of what was promised to them in the blessings to Yaakov. Is that Ephraim will become the fullness of the nations. And that's why they needed to go to the nations, being in the dispersion. And that's why, it was part of the plan of YaHuWaH to allow this to happen back then. And now Ephraim is in the four corners of the earth. That's why what we are expecting soon, hopefully, is that when Yahushua is coming, he will send the Malachim, the messengers, to gather his people, gather the 10 tribes from the four corners of the earth. Now, as it is written, there is mixed among the people. They don't understand and they don't know who they are. They have lost their identity. And because they have lost their identity, and because they are not conscious, because they are not in the present moment, because they are not aware about who they are, is exactly what's being described and happening in the verse 9 and the verse 10. The strangers have devoured his strength, but he does not know it. He's becoming old, but he is not realizing. It's like, he's looking at himself in the mirror and not seeing the wrinkles, not seeing, that he's losing hair, not seeing that he's becoming old, not realizing what's going on in his life. Again, as what I said, living in an autopilot. And that should be a strong message for all of us, because in the way that we are living today, it's a kind of open invitation because of, this demonic loop. I cannot say it in other words, that is running in time, in a so frenetic time. Everything is happening at the minute, that it's an open invitation to not to be present, not to take the pause that you need in order to understand what you are doing. And you are, in this tornado of things happening in your life that is leading you to live in autopilot and forgetting everything else. And most importantly, to forget YaHuWaH. There is a subtle difference, And the only one who can understand that difference is you. And for sure, YaHuWaH. It's between you and him. You know what's going on here in your heart. You know what's going on here if you think in your thoughts, in the things that you desire. You know what's going on inside of you. So you know that you are being driven by the things of the world in this frenetic frequency of things, of you are in the co-pilot seat and allowing YaHuWaH to be in the pilot seat. If it's in the way that you are being driven by the things of the world, what's happening with your life is exactly what's being described here. You are not taking the responsibility and the lead of your life and giving the reins of your life to YaHuWaH. You are allowing things to happen. Things happen, sure, but not because you are driving them. YaHuWaH, and this is something that Lilian and me, we have been talking for a while, and I'm doing this analysis on the scriptures, that YaHuWaH is always working through people. He's always using people to do his mighty work. For sure, he has the power to do things by himself. You know, I was giving Lillian the other day an example, and I will repeat it for you. You know, when YaHuWaH is speaking through his Ruach to us, how he speaks. You are going to listen a loud voice speaking in your ear, or it's going to be an inner voice inside of you, a thought that is coming to you. Usually it's a thought, it's a spiritual thing. It's something that is coming directly to your heart. That doesn't mean that YaHuWaH is not able to speak and to produce sound. Not at all. Not at all. Because what is sound? You know, sound is the vibration of the air that is being caught by your ear and being translated in electrical waves, signals that your brain somehow is being created to reproduce it and to convert it into something that you are going to understand. YaHuWaH, for sure, he's able to make the air to vibrate and to produce the sound. There are a few examples that we have seen in the scriptures about the miracles like that. But that's not the usual thing. What YaHuWaH is going to do is to use, you know, this Ruach HaKodesh to put a thought in your heart when he's talking to you. Or maybe he's going to use a dream, or maybe he's going to use a person. Because a person already is created with this. That is going to produce the voice and is going to produce the vibration on the air that is going to be converted is going to be caught by your ear, converted to something you will understand. So, we need to be the one that are driving things and not allow the evil spirits and the frenetic things of this world to be the one that are driving our lives. Because if we are in control, and that's why we are the ones that are going to be able to understand if we are the one deciding and allowing YaHuWaH to guide us in that decisions, or we are allowing to be in the autopilot mode. And it's up to us to make the decision to change, in order not to be like Yisra'el, that we are not going to know what's going on in our lives. But not being present, you know, people are going to destroy us because we are losing our identity by not understanding and not being in the present moment, when it should be totally the opposite way around. Something else? You know, the 11 is something really important. Ephraim has become a simple dove without heart. They have called on Mizraim they have gone to Ashur. So going to any place except to YaHuWaH. That means is that we're becoming simple every time that we do that. And it should be the opposite. We go to YaHuWaH first, and He will guide us. Maybe it's not going to be like what I'm going to say, but let's use it. Maybe He is going to be the one telling, go to Mizraim, go to Ashur. But first we are going to YaHuWaH, and we are allowing Him to be the pilot of our lives. And because of that, it is written in the verse 12. Because of that, because we are not going to them directly, bad things happen. Because He is the one putting the net. Bring them people, bring us down like birds, chastising us, as their congregation has heard.
Yeah, the rest is going to see that.
Yeah.
That kind of punishment. So.
And what's the reason? What is written in the verse 13? Because they have strayed for me. Because we have allowed things to lead us astray from the way of YaHuWaH. And again, continue with the analogy. We have allowed things to take control of our lives and to drive our lives instead to be the other way around. And let me reinforce what I said. You know, the way we live today is a frenetic way. But one thing, and as I said before, you know in your heart in what mode you are living. If your first option is that you are allowing things and the frenetic way of living to drive your life, meaning that you are living in autopilot, and if you are living in autopilot, you have delegated the control and the leadership of your life to the evil spirits and not to YaHuWaH, because you are not deciding, you don't know what's going on. You see yourself in the mirror and don't realize that you are becoming old, like it's written here. Or the second mode, that you know that you are in slavery, you know that this frenetic way of living is something that sometimes you cannot get rid of because you are in a slavery. And unfortunately, you are in the system until YaHuWaH is coming. But there's something, an important, a key decision within yourself, that you are going to do those things, but you are the one deciding. You are the one in control. And when you are deciding and you are present, you are giving the reins, as I said, of your life to YaHuWaH to guide you through His Ruach HaKodesh. It looks similar, but they are not. And that's the only one who knows the way that we are living is ourselves individually and YaHuWaH. The 14 is so important, and did not cry out to me with their hearts when they wailed upon their beds. You know, we know that maybe something is this heavy weight in our hearts, but since we are living in autopilot, maybe, we have forgotten YaHuWaH, we are not crying out to Him. That's why it's so important to pray every day, and more than once. Even though that we don't feel it, we have to pray. We need to cry out. And we need to do it with all our hearts. If we do so, it's going to be much easier for us to understand and to be aware and to be conscious and to be present. To remember our identity and to remember that YaHuWaH is there. To remember that we need to allow YaHuWaH to be the pilot of our lives. Something else?
No, I was meditating on that you are saying about making those prayers, and in a continuous way, and it's like entering into a room, or like entering into a place when you can see that curtain is being removed, that you can feel that you are in the presence of the Father. It's not that you are in some other place, because when we don't have those instances of praying with all our heart, it's like we are becoming somehow a spectator, but from the outside. We are not being a part of that relationship. So we are at the end leaving YaHuWaH alone, and even though he doesn't need us to be a whole, but it's not, we are not putting our effort to be with him. And then it's like to live a life completely detached from him. And we don't realize, and we are starting to see in some other things to look to for things that are going maybe to fill those holes that we can have in our lives. And the only thing that can fill anything is YaHuWaH, nothing else. So it's the time when we need to stop and maybe to realize that it's not only one time in the day, it's not only maybe 2 times in the day. No, it's trying to live our life all the time, being conscious that YaHuWaH is there with us. He has never depart from our side. It's us that we are putting that curtain. It's us that we are putting a veil that doesn't allow us to see him and to feel him. So it's our responsibility to live every day and to be conscious and talking all the day, even though when some people they said, oh yeah, she's talking with the plants, she's talking and with the I don't know, the pets and everything. But why we cannot do the same with YaHuWaH? And I'm not putting YaHuWaH in that same level, not at all. But if it's so easy for us to talk with somebody that is around us, why we don't do the same? And we have him here with us the whole complete day, that we make him part of our life. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for, I have my notes here, but I cannot find it. I'm going to rephrase some note. I think I read this somewhere. Is that the most important display of respect that we can show a person is by being present. Because if you are with a person, but your mind is somewhere else, you are not respecting that person. And we always are looking and seeking and asking YaHuWaH to fill us with his presence. We're asking him to be present in our lives, in our homes, in our days, in our moments, in every experience we go through. But we need to ask ourselves, are we giving him the same thing that we are asking? Are we present for him every time we pray? You know the answer. You know, a few days ago, I was actually, it's been the tendency this entire week, I would say. I was working with wood in our home in the south of Chile. And I was thinking in those things sometimes, and it's so dangerous when you are working with tools, is that sometimes we are so focused in doing something. And it happened to me, and it's that I realized in that moment. We are so focused on working in some things, but our mind is totally in a different place. And, it's running in autopilot and doing things because our bodies had memory. And, let's call it our subconscious maybe is already programmed to do things in certain ways. But our mind is in a different place. It's like a technology today that you can be physically here like what we are doing now. but the heart in our mind is in other place. That's the subtle difference to understand when those moments happen of realization, to understand what it is to be present. If you are doing something, when I was working with the wood, I realized, and I put all my focus and all my attentions on what I was doing, being present in that moment, enjoying what I was doing, being careful not to hurt myself with some tools, even though what happened. To be there. If we are asking YaHuWaH to be here, to be here, to be here, and He's everywhere. He created us at His own image and likeness. So the same thing that we are expecting from YaHuWaH to do is what we have to do. If we don't do it, how the Ruach HaKodesh is going to manifest Himself? How YaHuWaH is going to use us? If when we are doing something, our mind is totally out in some other places. How He is going to manifest Himself through you if you have not learned and realized how to take back the control of your life and not allowing your life to be driven and controlled by the evil spirits of this time. I already told you the subtle but key important difference. And that difference is what you are deciding within yourself. If you are going to allow your inner man to take control of your life, or you are going to allow your inner man to be controlled by the things of the world. Okay. Should we do the next one?
I don't know, because I don't know what time is it.
You decide.
So
It's 6 here.
we started that. At what? How long we have?
Let me see.
Can you see how?
14 verses. Do you want to read it? Let's do it.
Okay. Put a shofar to your mouth like an eagle against the house of YaHuWaH, because they have transgressed my covenant and they have rebelled against my Torah. They cried out to me, my Elohim, we Israel know you. Israel has rejected what is good. An enemy pursues him. They have made sovereigns, but not from me. They have made rulers, but I have not known. From their silver and gold they made idols for themselves, so that they are cut off. O Shomeron, your calf has been cut off. My wrath has burned against them. How long shall they be incapable of innocence? For from Israel is even this, a workman made it, and it is not Elohim. For the calf of Shomeron is splinters, for they sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. The stalk has no bud, it yields no grain. If it does yield, the strangers swallowed it up. Israel has been swallowed up. They have now become among the nations as a vessel in which is no pleasure. For they themselves have gone up to Ashur. A wild donkey alone by itself is Ephraim. They have hired lovers. Also, although they sold themselves among the nations, this time I shall gather them, when they have suffered for a while from the burden of a sovereign, of rulers. Since Ephraim has made many slaughter places for sin, they have been slaughter places for sinning to him. I have written for him numerous matters of my Torah. They were regarded as strange. As for my slaughterings, they slaughter flesh and they eat. YaHuWaH shall not accept them. Now does he remember their crookedness and punish their sin. Let them return to Mizraim. For Israel has forgotten his maker and has built palaces, and Yehuda has increased walled cities. But I shall send fire upon his cities, and I shall devour his strongholds.
Good.
Yeah. We needed to read it because it's the name of the portion, isn't there?
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good call.
Yeah, they say they're calling me and they're telling me, we know you. And I remember when YaHuWaH was telling,
I don't know you.
I don't know you. Because they're telling, oh, we made this and this miracle with this and your name and everything. But really, we do know him. We know, if we know him and if we know all the claims that he is doing, if we know everything that he wants from us, are we following his instruction? Are we follow his direction? Or we are like them, that they're saying we know you, but our actions are showing that, yeah, we know you just from sight, but not from our hearts.
I think the comparison you did is so important with what YaHuWaH said. You know, he's answering, I don't know you, you workers of lawlessness without Torah. And this is exactly what is written here. You know, they cry out to me, it says in the verse 2, my Elohim, we Israel know you. But they have rebelled against my Torah.
Yeah.
So they have rejected what is good. YaHuWaH is saying, what is good is my Torah. What is good is my covenant. If you do that, you know me. Even though that you say, you know me, if you don't follow my Torah, you don't know me, and I don't know you. If we connect both. So here is the key to connect what YaHuWaH was saying. Keeping Torah is so important because it's the way of goodness. It's the way of YaHuWaH. If you have a Christian believer, a friend, you can show them this connection about what is written here in this book, in this chapter, verse 1, 2, and 3, connected to what YaHuWaH said. That what is good is keeping Torah. And no matter that we are saying, if we are not keeping Torah, it doesn't matter if we are saying, Master, we have done all of this, we know you. Depart from me. I don't know you. Here is the clear example. If you have a family member, a friend that doesn't believe on keeping Torah yet, there you have a connection. You know, down there, and let me put it in the screen, this is something so interesting. And it's happening nowadays. They have made sovereigns, but not from me. They have made rulers, but I have not known. From their silver and gold, they made idols for themselves so that they are cut off. So, you know, what's coming to my heart is they have made sovereigns, but not from me. And this is so complicated because it's like the democratic system that we are living in this. You know, everyone is going, and we have to go because we need to respect the laws of the land, to the polls and to choose a person. That's not the way of YaHuWaH. YaHuWaH, he's setting the rulers. For sure, you know, in the system we are in slavery. I'm not saying that this is wrong, but it's just caught my attention. Is that we are in this loop, in the way that the system works. Even in this example, is just showing us how depart is from the way of YaHuWaH. When he's saying from their silver and gold, they made idols for themselves. You know, it's true that they were, as we have been studying, they were doing idols of silver, wood, stone, all of that, and gold. But you know, when I just read it, what came to my heart, again, is that how do you use silver and gold? What they are used for in our days, back on those days as well, is to buy things. You can use it as money, as a currency. something to exchange. So could it be that we are using our silver and gold that YaHuWaH has given us, the resources that YaHuWaH has gave us, to buy things that are going to become idols for ourselves?
It could be.
We need to, again, to be aware, to be conscious, to know, to drive our lives, and to analyze everything we do. It doesn't mean that we're going to become control freaks. Sorry for the expression, but it's just to understand. No, it's just to be present, just to do things by being aware and conscious of what we're doing, and asking YaHuWaH all the time to guide us in the good decisions and in the good path.
I want to add something to that.
Go ahead.
Be patient if I cannot express myself so clear, because this is something that I just felt. That when it says about that you are made sovereigns, not from me, and made the rulers, and the silver, it could be an idol and everything. Yeah, we understand that that's the way that everything is working. But at the end, the call for us is that even though that things that we have to respect because they are being led, and they're allowed because YaHuWaH is in control and he is allowing that is present at this moment. But doesn't mean that they are our sovereign. It doesn't mean that they are something that we have to worship. It doesn't mean that those are the ones that have to have the first place in our hearts. It's our decision to put that in the level that where they belong, here. And YaHuWaH is there. So I think that is a call of a kind of attention, because when we were starting and being young in this world, we were starting to work and maybe earning our first salary and things like that, I was thinking about that. That maybe with my first salary, I wanted to buy something that at that moment it was an idol for me, because I wanted to have it so badly that I was so happy with that. And I was losing sight that who was allowing me to get that?
Yeah.
It was YaHuWaH who was providing me a work, that was paying some money so I could have something that was going to give me a satisfaction. But from where that satisfaction is coming is from him. Not for all the things in the middle. The rest is layers that he is allowing to be there to have an instructor. But that's it. And he is our king. He is our everything. He is our silver, our gold. He is everything. So we have to put in him.
And that's a perfect example of what I was trying to say before. And let me expand a bit of what you said. In that moment when you have the salary, in what you're saying, and you wanted to buy this thing, and at the end, now that you analyze this thing, it became like an idol, because it was the desire of your heart, and as soon as you have it and you have the power to get it, you got it, but you forgot that who gave you the resources and everything that is coming from him.
Yeah.
Connected to what I said before, is not to be aware, is not to be conscious, to be driven by those external things. And no, I have to get it, and this is going to be my new idol. And unfortunately, when we are in the autopilot mode that I said, those things are happening by the minute.
Yeah.
Not even every day, by the minute. Every moment. We can, and it has been happening to me, I have been telling you, I can come from this thing that is cutting my attention, okay, solve, and then the other one. And that's why I made this subtle difference. The frenesy that is happening in this life, we are not going to stop it because it's coming outside. The only thing that we can control and decide is how we are going to act on those things. What is going to be our inner decision, if our heart and our mind we are going to give it to YaHuWaH, or we are going to give it to the external things.
Yeah.
Okay? So the verse 8, I think, is an important passage, because it's saying Yisra'el, and I think it's talking specifically about the 10 lost tribes has been swallowed up. They have now become among the nations as a vessel in which is no pleasure. They have lost their identity.
Becomes something common.
Yeah. For they themselves have gone up to Ashur. Because of forgetting YaHuWaH and going to somewhere else, they lost their identity. A wild donkey alone by itself is Ephraim. They have hired lovers. Also, although they sold themselves among the nations, this time I shall gather them when they have suffered for a while from the burden of a sovereign of rulers. And there we have the loving kindness heart of YaHuWaH, that even though that they have gone all this way, like in the parable of the prodigal son, he as a father is going to be waiting for his son for the return with open arms. But, he's going beyond of the parable that Yahushua told us. Because in this case, the father is not just waiting with the open arms. In this case, in our case, the case of the 10 tribes, in the case of Ephraim, he's sending, the messengers to collect the sons from the four corners of the earth, even though that they are in the end of the heavens or the earth, is written, he is going to send the messengers to gather them all. That's the type of love he has for each one of us. And his love is so big and higher that he's not going to stop only with that. That he's going to send the messengers to gather all the living ones. What he's going to do, he's going to even to resurrect those ones that are sleeping now, that they were not able to enjoy the moment of the regathering. They are going to wake up and they're going to be gathered with the rest. The only thing that we can understand, all of that, is that it's being driven by the love of a father to their sons. And that's why what we can do for him is to be present and to love him back by being obedient children, by keeping his Torah, because it's good. Because if we live according to his ways, good things will happen to our lives. That doesn't mean we are not going to go through difficulties and trials. It's part of life. It's part of the way we learn. Those are opportunities that YaHuWaH is bringing to our lives in order to test what is in our heart. Because sometimes when things are always good, we can get into the autopilot mode as well. If we go, through situations that is testing our heart, those are the best situations for us to be aware, to be present, to decide, not to allow things to decide for us.
And to be compassionate, so we can understand also the suffering or the life that other person is having, the difficulties that they are dealing with.
And this is what's happening, but it's being reduced by the day. Thanks YaHuWaH for that. What is written in the verse 12, I have written for him numerous matters of my Torah. They were regarded as strange. But thanks to him, he is waking up people more and more to understand that his Torah is eternal, is everlasting. That his Torah is good. That his Torah is like a tree of life. That every time that we are eating of the food of that tree, we are going to get life. We are going to have goodness in our life. Why? Because that tree is a set-apart tree. Because that food is a set-apart fruit. It's a food and a tree that is being guarded and kept by YaHuWaH himself. I like what you said a minute ago, is that being set apart. And we need to, in order to recover, part of recovering our identity is that if we are being called to be part of Israel, Israel is set apart. Being set apart, what it means is to be dedicated for something different. It's dedicated for something special. So if we have been called out of the world in order to become and to come in to his marvelous light, into his kingdom, we have recovered our identity. And maybe we're in the process to recover our entire identity. And we will recover it completely when Yahushua is here, because there are many things that maybe we don't understand from our true identity as a child of Elohim. But everything we have learned, everything we have recovered in terms of our identity, we need to see it from the angle of we are set apart, we are different. That doesn't mean that we are better? No. Doesn't mean that we are special to the eyes of YaHuWaH? Yes. But what it means to be set apart is set apart for a purpose. Set apart for the service of YaHuWaH. Set apart for a mission. Set apart because we have a task, a special task to do. I have a mic here on top of ourselves. This mic has been set apart to be in this position for this gathering in order to produce sound, even though at the beginning didn't do it, because I made a mistake in the configuration. But it's set apart. It's the same with us. He created us. He chose Israel to be set apart for a specific job, for a specific task. And, the more we know ourselves, the more we realize about our true identity in YaHuWaH, that identity that was lost many years ago, that now YaHuWaH is waking up his people to the reality that we are part of the lost tribes of Israel, the better for us, because we are going to understand what is our mission, what it means to be set apart. And if we don't understand our job yet, we need to ask our master to give us the job description so we understand what we have to do to live a set apart life. Yisra'el have forgotten his maker and has built palaces, and YaHuWaH has increased walled cities, but I shall send fire upon his cities, and it shall devour his strongholds. It's exactly the same thing. Doing things without knowing. Doing things out of YaHuWaH, not beside YaHuWaH.
Yeah, it's different when we are guided by him, and what we are doing is in honor to him and for him.
Amen. That's what I have. Anything else?
No. So it was funny. It was funny when you were saying, and histora, you were repeating that word histora, and it was so similar to history, and somehow the whole history is histora. So we have to see from the beginning, from the creation, that he's trying to with each one of us, that we can find that way back to him. So it's from the very beginning when Adam and Eve, they were losing that beautiful blessing of being in his presence, that he was working from that moment onwards. So all can have that opportunity to go back to him again and be gathered again as a whole body, because I feel that we are little cells in that body, and that we are going to be present with him again as he always wanted, not far away from here, but just in his presence. That's it.
Good. You want to close?
Well, yeah. And I'm going to share with you also that we receive a message from Judy that she's continue asking for your prayer, so she can receive a very good and positive news very soon. She's waiting that, and I know that when we are in that kind of moment, always a kind of desperation is coming from our heart when we are expecting something. So if you can continue praying for her, it would be very good. And she sends all her love, and she's praying for you, for even though that she doesn't know you, but the whole assembly is in her heart always. And I just wanted to share something that is little, but I found it very beautiful. When we were in the south, sometimes we were working, and I was putting together a puzzle. I love doing that when we are there. And time ago we were discussing and we were talking, don't you find so funny all those times when you, from, I don't know, thousands of pieces, is sound, you pick one and that you know exactly where it goes. It's like you make the movement like this. You don't even have to think about that. It's like automatically. And we were discussing about that a lot of time ago when we were doing those puzzles with Angel and Cristobal together. I think that we were talking about that. And then the last week when we were doing the same, and I was doing the same, and this time I put together not I, it was, and that is
I didn't participate.
At this moment you didn't participate.
Yeah.
It was by myself. But then I realized that I didn't do it by myself, because it happened again a lot of time. It was happening again and this time it was a puzzle that was very difficult because of the image. And I don't like to do puzzles having the picture of the look in the box or things like that. I just, when we bought the thing, is the when I have, and when I open the box, and then I put it aside and I want to do it by myself. So it's kind of more difficult. And at one point I was having the same. And then it was so beautiful because I was like, wow, how this is being made? How are you making this? And then it was something like, it was in my heart, because as you said, it's not something audible, but you can feel it. And I could feel at that moment that because I'm playing with you, because I'm the one who is enjoying this moment with you. So I found it so beautiful that sometimes things in life, solutions, or I don't know, positive things are going to happen because he's doing it with us.
Even the simple things of life.
So.
And that's why we need to be present. If we are present, he will be present. It's like what YaHuWaH is saying, when we open the heart, the door of our heart, he will come in. In order to open the door, we need to go to the door and open it. We need to be present. If we are present, things like that moment will be repeating in every aspect of our lives.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. And it was, some other day it didn't happen. So I was thinking, this time you don't want to play, you're busy doing something else. So it was so beautiful, like having that and feeling that everything that he's doing is with us, that we are never alone.
Yeah. Those are beautiful moments when I love putting puzzle together as well when I have the time to do it. And we have been talking about those times when you just pick the piece and you don't know how. You just said this one is going here.
So he likes to do that, and he's
the one doing it.
Creator.
Good. Go. You started this broadcast and you
so we invite you for next week, if Abba willing, that we can get together again and continue in this very interesting and very timely book, because what we are reading every week, we can see it, that is happening around us, and the times that we are living are so interesting. So we invite you to continue this, enjoying this Shabbat, that you can be immersed under the love of our Father and continue praying. And if sometimes you feel that you doesn't have maybe the answer as soon as you wanted, continue praying, and even more. Sometimes Abba, those moments maybe is because maybe the answer he cannot provide it at that moment. And we have to understand that usually that happens when our will and his will are in the same place, are connected. Sometimes our will could be somehow moved or close, but it's not in the right position. So, but he always knows what we need, but he's always expecting that we can speak about our needs. Even though he knows, he's expecting that we can be vocal about that. Yeah. Okay, so
everybody's talking about the puzzles now. And I was laughing at your nose because I can see your nose is very red now.
Very red. Yeah.
Anyways, So thank you so much for joining us today. And YaHuWaH be with you all, and Shabbat Shalom. See you next week.
Bye bye.
אלוהי השמיים, הוא יצליח לנו, אנחנו עבדיו, נקום ובנינו, אין מקום לפחד, אין זמן לבזבז. במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר, סוללו לו דרך, ישרו לו מסילה, הרימו כל מכשול, הנה הוא כבר בא, העירו כל ישן, הזמן להתעורר. במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר,
כולנו מחכים בציפייה שתתגלה לנו במלוא כבודך, אז ישמעו כי אדוני דיבר.
במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר, במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר. אלוהי השמיים, הוא יצליח לנו, אנחנו עבדיו, נקום ובנינו, אין מקום לפחד, אין זמן לבזבז. במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר, סוללו לו דרך, ישרו לו מסילה, הרימו כל מכשול, הנה הוא כבר בא, העירו כל ישן, הזמן להתעורר. במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר, כולנו מחכים בציפייה שתתגלה לנו במלוא כבודך, אז ישמעו כי אדוני דיבר. במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר, כולנו מחכים בציפייה שתתגלה לנו במלוא כבודך, אז ישמעו כי אדוני דיבר. במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר, במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר, במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר, במדבר, כל קורא כאן במדבר. במדבר, בערבה, בהרים ובשפלה, כל קורא גם ברמה, כל מפרת השממה, בבתים וברחובות, בימים ובלילות, בחדרי החדרים, וגם על גגות גבוהים. במדבר, אז בשמחה, ואם להילחם באהבה, בחיים אין ניצחון בלי מלחמה. במדבר קול קורא כאן במדבר, במדבר קול קורא כאן במדבר, במדבר קול קורא כאן במדבר, במדבר קול קורא כאן במדבר.